Hi guys, welcome back to the Detour podcast. Thanks for joining us. It's 2022, and as you'd expect, we said we'd be live at 8:30, and we're 2 hours late because it is the Detour, and we wanted to be consistent right from the start. Your host Dan Jones, joined as always by four-time national road champion from Australia, Johnny Trevorrow, the voice of cycling, Phil Liggett, and Bernard Moerman, another special guest from the Flandrian Hotel. Fellas, welcome. Happy New Year. We'll kick off with you, John, because I know you are like a greyhound scratching at the box. You want to mention the Bay Crits straight off the gun, don't you?
I was very, very disappointed when you sent through a little script of what we're going to be talking about. There was no mention of the Bay Crits in there. I thought, what are you doing?
Slip it in. I didn't have to.
What happened?
Are you excited, John?
I am excited. I mean, it's my baby. I started it in 1989. We missed last year with COVID, and I didn't want to miss another one. And we've managed to get it together. I mean, there are some serious COVID situations in the cycling world at the moment. Lost a couple of our big names, namely Luke Plapp, who isn't positive at the moment, but his girlfriend Georgia Baker in Tassie has it, and he's over there as well. So he's going to miss the Australian Time Trial Championship on Wednesday. He won't be able to come back, so he won't be able to defend his time trial title. But he hopes to be back for next Sunday's road race. But the Bay Crits, tomorrow. So I'll be up at the crack of dawn down at the beautiful Eastern Park, setting it all up for a couple of days of fantastic racing.
Yeah, it's getting streamed on SBS, I see, John.
Yes, they've done a fantastic job. I mean, SBS really are the saviour of cycling in Australia. I mean, they do streaming on all of the NRS races, but they've really stepped up with the Bay Crits. It's going to be Gatesy's company's putting it together, of course. I think he's done every one since 1989, so can't do it without Gatesy. Karen Jones done a fantastic job stepping up.
Karen Jones has commented live. She's red hot. Of course, he wants to mention the Bay Crits. Missed 2 years, JT, and he said, "Can't wait to get this event back on the road. We will miss Phil not being here, though."
No, thank you, Karen.
I
think it's about 5 o'clock in the morning. I might not watch it on SBS. I can get SBS, by the way, with my VPN, but a little bit early to get up, John. Even though I love the Bay Crits, a little bit early to get up.
Well, you can watch it later. It'll be great racing. And Brenton Jones, he's actually my pick to win it. At one stage, he wasn't going to be able to ride on the Saturday because his best mate's getting married, and the Bucks' turn is actually tomorrow. But he's decided, sorry, mate, I've got to ride the Bay Crits. So he stepped up.
That's a cyclist for you.
Yeah, and so it'll be a really good race. The Lexington Blackburn team, we've got some of the rivers. We've got Jensen Plowright, who I think will be a real threat, and all of the track squad, and also we've got Simon Clark riding. So I'm looking forward to it. But now that Brenton's riding both days, I think he'll be he's in fantastic form. So
he is
hard to beat. Yeah, hard to beat.
But remember Bob Hastings, John, the former Deputy Police Commissioner, who helped to close the roads for the Bay Crits a few years ago.
Yeah, he lives up in Noosa.
He lives in Noosa now, just outside, and he sent me an email to say, I thought you'd like to know that Brenton Jones has just dominated this, I think it was a 4-day race, and he won all the stages as well.
Yeah,
so
he won the time trial too.
Yes, he did. But Bob Hastings never lost his interest in the sport since he retired. Unbelievable.
Lovely guy.
Now, Bernard, one of the big reasons we want to get you on the show is you've had Heinrich Haussler stay at the Flandrian Hotel, but also we had a best-of series, and you made the cut, mate. You and, of course, Jamie, because of your magical insights. So we want to pick your brain, but you posted a vlog on LinkedIn, and it was fantastic because you gave these insights about the beginner's mindset. Before Heino's just messaged and said he'll be on in about 3 minutes, but what was it about that experience with Heinrich for the listeners, and how did you link this sort of beginner's mindset?
Well, the thing is that he's a very seasoned and successful professional cyclist for years, but then seeing that youth enthusiasm, the curiosity, the courage, the openness to learn, that's not something you expect from a 38 38 or becoming 38 years old guy being so seasoned in racing, that's just wonderful. And that struck us, both Jamie and myself, and also our crew. It's a very nice person to have, but as a professional cyclist, it's unbelievable how much he's still looking for the new things, like what can he do differently. And for me, that's where he sticks out compared with a lot of other professional cyclists.
Does it amaze you that, and we've had Heino on the show before, I think we spoke to him just after Paris-Roubaix where he finished 10th, but do you find, you've obviously worked with a lot of pro cyclists, that the majority of them get burnout at some point, particularly at the latter parts of their career, whereas it sounds as though Heinrich is the opposite. He's still don't worry about it, mate. No. We have tech issues all the time, mate.
So about that.
Someone's trying to FaceTime you.
Yeah.
That's fine, mate.
Okay, here we go. So, can you rephrase the question?
I was going to say, normally riders get burnout when they get to the latter part of their career, whereas it sounds as though Heino's part of this small group that, they stay young and fresh and eager and, as you said, willing to learn, and the guy's 37.
The thing is, you need to know what you want to do with your life. And if you look at the story of Heinrich Haussler, I mean, he came as a kid to Europe at the age of 14 or 15 years old. So, but he really wanted to become a cyclist, and he learned a lot, but he learned also life skills, because living on the other side of the world when you're 15 years old, the only way you can survive is learning life skills. And that's what he did. But he kept the love to ride his bike. And here, when I did run my cycling center, I told to all the young riders, make sure that you learn something else besides riding your bike, because you're just one job away from a crash at McDonald's.
They got Bernard. They have an off button on the side. You can just turn the bloody thing off.
That's fine. We'll put you on mute just for a second, mate. Phil, this is great.
Yeah. Well, it makes a nice replacement for Iffy, doesn't it? That's fantastic.
But anyway, what I wanted to say is that, and we see that with the people we consult a lot of times in cycling and in other sports, that towards the end of their career, they are not ready for the next step, because they think that people come for them because of them, but they come for the success. So as soon as you're not super successful anymore, you need to know what you want to do. And having Heinrich here, we saw that this guy is ready for another step in his life. He is enjoying every second. And, when we saw him doing the cyclocrosses, getting beaten like a dog, being trashed completely, we were thinking, this guy is going to home tonight. But then the next morning, fresh like a kid in the candy store. And it is because he has a great love for riding his bike. And that's, I think, this guy cannot ever have a burnout,
Well, he joins us now. First question for Heinrich Haussler. Welcome back to the Detour. Did you get beaten like a dog, mate?
Mate, I got absolutely smashed. It wasn't funny. Absolutely smashed.
Now, we're just talking to Bernard then about your ability to stay mentally fresh, keen, willing to learn, and you're 37. What is the secret, Heino?
To be honest, it definitely wasn't as easy as it sounded. I mean, after one race, even Bernard just left me alone for 2 or 3 hours because I was absolutely so devastated after the race. I wanted to do better, but sometimes it's technically so hard, and these guys are just proper professionals. And actually, I'm just an amateur, just trying to race with them. But I got pretty much my ass completely handed to me, and I was just so so upset. And when you're so mentally upset, or just you're ready to give it in, and then you start to think about stuff. It was over the Christmas, New Year's period. You're like, what am I doing here? I should be home with my family, but I'm here getting my ass kicked by some Belgian cross riders. It's just like, what am I doing? I'm 37 years old. Just it's time to slow down, But yeah, then the next day you wake up with fresh motivation, and then you're ready just to give it your all and do your best. And I don't know, it's just something also, I think as a kid, what I went through when I was younger, all those hard times and hard moments that I had to go through, it makes you tougher for later on in life. And I've only got a few more years left, and I want to get everything out of my body what I can, and just have absolutely no regrets.
How many cyclocrosses did you do, Heino?
Over this Christmas, New Year's period, I done only 5, but it was 5 in 8 days, which, to be honest, I also totally underestimated. Like afterwards, I was like, oh yeah, okay, this is enough. This is really, it's only 1 hour racing, but it destroys your body. It completely destroys your body. It's just not normal. After every race, I have so much respect, not just for Walt and Mathieu and all the guys that are on the podium, but also for the rest of the guys. It's an amazing sport, and it is so hard. And I look at Walt van Aert, and he's for me almost like a god. I know, an absolute gladiator. Sometimes I would watch the replays or during the evening, the race, to see, okay, where did I lose time? Where can I improve? And you see, I remember trying to run up these steep stairs or a steep hill, and it wasn't really running. Your back's hurting, your muscles are ready to explode. You've got the bike on your shoulder, and you're trying to get up as fast as possible. And you see Walt van Aert sprinting up there. You're just like, how is this possible? What is this for an athlete? Seriously, I'm blown out of the water. I can't get my head around it.
Yeah. You got a question, Phil, for Heino?
Yeah, roll on Paris, I would think. Heino, probably.
Well, the thing is, when we go back onto the road, it's more. It turns into a little bit of a even playing ground.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting and fascinating to see. I know when I ride through the mud or tricky situations, the way I move my body. You're trying to get that momentum, and you're trying to move forward as quickly as possible. But
it does look though. Sorry, Heinrich. I was just thinking.
It's just
you were talking about your body complaining there, though.
And then you look at the other guys, and you see the grace and the style and the strength they have, the way they ride through those sections. It's just. And now, to be honest, obviously they're the biggest talents in the sport and also on the road. But I definitely 100% believe that the cyclocross helps them on the road, but also them doing the road helps them in the cyclocross.
Yeah, but they've grown up with it too, haven't they, mate? That's the big difference. You're watching youngsters. They've been doing it from 13, 14 years of age.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it's a sport you have to start as young as possible just to learn that whole technique. Just the way also, we didn't have any sand sections like for example, like the World Championships last year, but also riding through the sand, that's also a complete different world. Yeah. And it's just, you can hear my voice. It's just impressive. It's just absolutely impressive. And the thing is, all the other pros out there, even my teammates, they just they have absolutely no idea. They just think, oh yeah, they're going to go ride in the paddock and a little bit of mud. Blah, blah, blah. It's just, I tell them, you come to a race. Come on, you have a go.
Yeah. But Bernard, one of the things that you mentioned in your vlog that you do on Fridays with the Flandrian Hotel, you said what really impressed you as well was the rest days when Heino was there, was out doing recon. And let's be honest, the weather at the moment in Belgium, it's not flash, is it?
The least to say. The rest days, well, the word says it itself, huh? You should be resting. But a guy like Heino is so professional that he went on to do recons for the Paddestraat, the Koppenberg, the Muur. These are all close by, but it is with the windshield effect, I would say, close to zero, and it's raining cats and dogs, and he still goes out. That shows a tremendous, willpower and desire to really do what he needs to do.
Is the difference, Heino, are you addicted to pain? When most people suffer, that's our warning sign to go, that's it, I'm out. That's why I put on weight. I don't like suffering. But there's something different about you, mate, where do you become addicted to that pain? Oh, I think he's frozen or he's thinking.
I think both, actually.
Sometimes this program with the internet can skip, but yeah.
I thought Dubai would have some of the best internet in the world. I thought it'd be quite laughing there.
It is always funny though when they freeze
that what
frame on
Heinrich
nice
is now?
faces. Yeah, he's in Dubai and he's still thinking about the answer. But, he'll jump back on. But yeah, Bernard, that as you said, like that's the dedication for these guys. There's no fluke when you have someone that's had such a long career, but a successful career. It's all these 1%ers, yeah?
Yeah, you're right. Those guys don't leave any detail unknown. I mean, a guy like Heinrich has done the Paddestraat, I don't know, 20, 25 times in his life. And still he goes out. And he came back this time and he said, you know what, Bernard? I checked on Strava. And if I would like to, I had the fastest time. So you see that competitor in these guys at any moment of the day, which is great.
You're back, Heino?
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm in Dubai at the moment. My internet, it's not that great.
No, that's fine, mate. We were just saying, are you addicted to pain? Is that what keeps you going?
No, definitely not addicted to pain. Just addicted to bad conditions in Belgium, cobblestones. I think that's the main thing. Like I remember on one of the rest days, I went out just to test the equipment. We have different bikes, different tires, different tire pressure. If I'm up in Belgium, then I also want to do a few recons, just freshen up the mind again, and also just test it a little bit with the tire pressure, especially in the rain. And I remember it was raining and I'm standing on top of the mirror. I just stand there for 10 minutes in the rain and just looking into the horizon. I was just thinking, this is amazing. This is so good. I know, yeah, it's really strange. I mean, for example, also the day before I came here, I went out and done 3 hours just in my short, just the rain jacket on. It was 8 degrees raining, 9 degrees raining. And I love that kind of stuff. I don't know why. And I'm now here in Dubai. It's like 25 degrees and I just suffer like a pig. Out on the ride today, I don't know why. I just start to lose my power. And I'm just thinking, oh, what? It's way too hot. I need to go back to Europe. I need to go back to Belgium. It's really strange. I don't know why. I can't explain it. But, just like in Paris-Roubaix last year, the conditions, I just seem to like racing in these conditions. I don't know why. I definitely don't like training in it. But when it's racing time, then I really, I kind of have a love for that kind of type of racing and that type of weather. And I think that's also why I like the classics, because it's early. We start already in February and it goes through until April. And normally there's just a very bad period of time where the weather can be really wet and really bad. So I've grown up to that, and I don't know why. I seem to also perform better in those type of conditions.
Iffy?
I was going to say, so what's the go in Dubai? Are you just training, or you got a race coming up now?
Yeah, just like with our team being from Bahrain, our main sponsor, we have a small race going on Sunday. Nothing big, but it's also not bad to come here and see this massive city. Like it's absolutely. I haven't been here that often. I did do the UAE race a couple of years ago, but to see all the buildings here and what's going on is absolutely it's just crazy. It's crazy.
When we talked to you after Paris-Roubaix, I mean, Bahrain Victorious had such a successful year, particularly in the second half. There must be some big momentum going into 2022, yeah?
Yes, 100%. I mean, we all know, everyone in the team knows it was a massive year and it's going to be hard to beat. And that's why everyone's really switched on, been working hard throughout the winter, because, we kind of want to back it up, especially the classics group. We're going in with full force with Sonny, with Mate. We've got a few other younger riders that have signed with the team, like the real big guys that have a lot of power, which I'm really happy with. We already had a training camp in December. And, yeah, so far the way things are going, also with our material, the wheels we have, the tires, or the Conti tubeless, I'm really happy with everything, and I'm looking forward to racing, but like I said, it's going to be really hard to back up last year because the way we rode towards the end of the season, especially in Big Bunk. I don't really want to say it, but it was pretty much just like playing PlayStation. We knew how strong the team was, and we didn't even care what the other teams were doing. We had our strategy, and that's what we done. That's what we wanted to do. And but it's going to be very, very difficult to back that up. And also, if I see the way Wild Fun Art's riding, Tom Pitcock already, because I know they're not going to get slower. They're only, as the season goes on now, they're just going to get stronger. And also a lot of Jumbo, they've bought riders to strengthen their classics group, and to see the way that he's riding and the way the team will ride, I know they're going to be super strong. It doesn't make me scared, but it gives me a lot of respect for those riders. But also it motivates me because I'm one of the older riders now, pretty much like a road captain for the guys. It motivates me to kind of make the team also better and stronger, grow together as a family. So we're going to, this year we're not going to be staying in a hotel. The whole time we're going to be like in a big villa where the team's just going to be always together, cooking together, being together at the dinner table, afterwards, whatever, PlayStation, billiard, table tennis, whatever, try and make the group more solid and stronger than it already is.
You're going to say something, Ivy?
Fantastic. Oh, no, it's just when you were talking about your gear before, you mentioned that you're on tubulars, where I see a lot of the teams are going over to the new tubeless technology. You're still happy with the tubulars?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been on tubeless now for the last 2 years. It took a lot of convincing to the team. Also, even to Sonny, Sonny before Roubaix, he only rode tubeless once.
Oh, you're on really tubeless. I thought you said so you're riding tubeless.
Yeah, tubeless. So
right. Good.
Yeah. I think tubeless is definitely almost going to be the future. It's like I think we're in a transition mode now where, like where we used to be a few years ago with rim brakes and disc brakes. A few years ago, especially, I remember the story with Christoph, where I think he had like 7 or 8 flats during Paris-Roubaix, and he said in the press himself, he's like, "Oh yeah, tubeless, no, terrible, never going to go back there." And I think that's one thing that remains a lot in the teams or in riders' minds, because the thing is with tubeless too, especially on the cobblestones, you can ride such low pressure, but it's hard for riders to go that low because they think the rolling resistance is like a lot less, or they're going to get a flat tire. But it's definitely not the case. But it's definitely also something. The combination that we have, for example, with our Vision wheels and Continental tires, it's a perfect mix. It's the perfect combination. It really mixes well. We don't lose pressure. We don't have really flat tires like other tire companies do. So for us at the moment, I still see that as a big advantage over other teams. And when you go into a race already knowing that, it automatically gives you more confidence if you have that edge over other big teams, like for example Quickstep or Lotto or other teams. It really does make a difference.
Now, Phil, you got to say,
I was going to say, especially in a wet Paris-Roubaix.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we've seen it in Paris-Roubaix. I mean, it's definitely. I'll be 100% honest. Like, it's just the way it is. If we rode tubular, I'm 100% sure we wouldn't have been up there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, Phil, you got to ask the question, but John cut you off. But you're used to that, mate.
I'm fine. No, just being an absolute non-technical type, Heinrich, how do these tubeless seal on the rim? Pretty much like a car tire, I suppose. But do you have to have a special rim to seal them on?
Exactly, yeah. So we work with Vision as our wheel company sponsor, and it's pretty much You can use milk if you want. So if you put milk in the rim in the rim or in the tire, you know, you're not taking a risk. So if you get a flat tire, if the hole's not big enough, it will seal by itself, and you can keep on riding.
Sure.
It has actually happened to me once or twice in training, where I didn't even notice. Like the guy behind me, he's like, "Hey, Heino, stop! You've got a flat tire." And I was like, look down. No, everything's fine. And he's like, no, you need to stop, because then, you know, because the milk was squirting pretty much into his face. But the milk, so we stop and we see, and the milk, you know, directly seals the tire. But you don't need to, because my thought is, you know, in a race, if you're going to have a flat tire, you're going to have to change anyway. So, and if you put it depends. Every rider's different. You know, I've been using tubeless for many years already. Like, for example, in mountain bike, that's all they use. But I've just had the experience that, like, for example, I'm not lying. I'm really not lying. I have not had a flat tire. Seriously. I have had a flat tire because, for example, the rim tape has exploded or something, but not from glass or sharp stones in the last, I would say, 2.5 years.
That's amazing.
And that's just something that gives me confidence that these tires, especially in the classics, are so good that I would never want to use anything else. And the thing is, at home, also when I train, I go out and I really, you know, ride on the gravel. I'll hit the gutter on purpose with speed to really, you know, to test the equipment. So, you know, that's what I mean. Like, when you go out there, you know, of course, the crashes can happen and you can always get a flat tire. But having 100% confidence in your equipment, that gives you such a massive edge or confidence in your head over like other teams. So
obviously the classics, you know, we've spoken a lot about that, and it's important to have that support, you know, from friends, family, team. But that week that you had at the Flandrian Hotel, and I think you're going to be going back there leading into, you know, the opening weekend and stuff. How cool is that facility, and having people like Bernard and Jamie around to just take a little bit of that sort of pressure off when you're trying to get performance for things like cyclocross and do recon and things like that?
Oh, look, if I didn't have Bernard and Anne and Jamie and, you know, Ronnie, Mechanic and Peter, it wouldn't have been possible to do, because I already noticed after the first day, because normally I'm really, really fatigued and tired and cooked after a race. But, you know, having them there, organizing everything, building up the tent, getting the bikes ready, cleaning the bikes, going back home directly, getting the washing done, you know, not have to be standing in the cold or, you know, driving around your car for 1 or 2 hours looking for a high pressure hose at the petrol station to clean down the bikes or whatever. I noticed already after the first day, I wasn't as tired as I normally was. And I mean, that was the whole idea about it, you know, like Jamie sent me this message just right out of the blue. And before I could even respond to the message, he was already ringing me. And so he explained everything. I was like, yeah, he's an Aussie. Oh, he lives in Belgium. Okay, yeah, near Braco. I know where that is. Yeah, for sure. If he's an Aussie, I'll give it a go. And yeah, it was the best experience I've ever had. I mean, to have that much help, I've never had that much help before, to be honest. And just to sit there also with Bernard every night, and we would just sit there and talk for hours. I mean, and if I didn't have to go to bed or I didn't have to race the next day, we would have talked for many more hours. It was it was a great experience. It was amazing, and it's I'm very, very thankful for that. And like, even if I didn't go up there to you know, to stay at the hotel, you know, every time I'm going to be up there, for sure I'm going to pass by just to say hello. It was amazing.
It sounds like, as I said, but with that vlog you were talking about, it was a special experience on the other side as well, mate.
Yeah, yes, it is. I mean, it's. I've worked with a lot of riders. We had about 1,000 young guys, and I did some work for professional teams. But then living a week, some sort of like a brother with Heino, yeah, that gives another insight even. And like I said before, his humility and his professionalism are so much one of a kind that also my wife and I myself, we learned a lot on on how he lived. And like I said, and I want to say that out loud, everywhere, the pride he has for his family. Yeah, that's a one of a kind. That's just beautiful. And that's a great experience.
You also mentioned that those traits that you see as a cyclist, you know, the dedication, you know, the commitment, the willing to learn, being humble, these traits often carry post-cycling as well.
I think these are life skills. I mean, these are the things that get you through life, because for nobody, life is a bed of roses. So there are always ups, but there are also downs as well. And it's on what type of skills you have, the tool set that is personalized on yourself. That's what gets you through life. And Heinrich is 37, becoming 38. I mean, soon enough, he will stay in cycling, but he will be there in another function. And he is already really bit by bit, because of his tools, adapting to that point. So that's a great thing. So he will not fall in a burnout. And that's what everybody needs. You need to know where you are, but as much as you know that, you need to know where you want to go. What is your next goal? We ask everybody that comes in here, we ask, so where do you want to be in 3 years? Honestly, a lot of people don't even have a clue. They never thought about it. They go day by day. Not like Heinrich. He is already thinking about that, which is a great advantage, because it gives you a certain internal rest, and you're okay with what you're doing today, and you're not worrying about tomorrow because you thought about it already. And that's a great point. And we see that literally in him every day.
We've got a live comment for you, Heino, from the Wheel Wizard. He loves chiming in. Heinrich, did you ride tubeless at the Loneheart and Bale? Congratulations on the ride at Loneheart. First time not lapped in a Belgium CX race. Respect where you have to start from.
That was a good one. No, I don't. I mean, for sure, there are people out there or riders in cross country that use tubeless, but no, I was using tubular. So just pretty much, you know, there's only two really cross tires what people use out there. It's either Challenge or Dugast. And on that day, I was using the Dugast mud tires. And in Lunard, seriously, after the finish, I had almost tears in my eyes. Even though I was 10 minutes down or whatever, and maybe got 50th or 60th, to finish a race in Belgium, not being lapped, I couldn't believe it. I was so over the moon. I went home, had so much confidence, and just absolutely buzzing. It was unbelievable. I didn't think I would be able to finish one of these races, to be honest.
Now, before we let you guys go, Bernard, everyone can come down to, obviously, the Flandrian Hotel. What sort of stuff have you got coming up over the next following months that you can let people know of?
Well, obviously, we want to be ready for the Spring Classics and like the Tour of Flanders, end of March or beginning of April. This is the big thing. We have already, well, it will depend a little bit on COVID, but we have already quite some interest of people that want to come and teams that want to come do some recon rides here. But like I said, COVID is still making that not sure yet. But that is the main stuff. And in between, we have also programs, the Flandrien Entrepreneurship Program, the Flandrien Leadership Program, which are seminars, always related to cycling. But in the next months, we go full gas for the cycling experience, that people can have here, because we're in the middle of the Tour of Flanders area, as Heinrich can witness.
Before we let the guys go, if you feel anything you want to ask the boys?
No, other than to say, Bernard, my experience goes back over 50 years since I lived in Belgium, with the same hope as all the kids in your room today, to hope one day I'd succeed as a pro bike rider. I didn't. I sort of diverted and became a journalist. But I lived with Albert Burek. Did you ever know Albert at all? He looked after the Café den Engel in Ghent.
I have heard the name, but I don't know him. I have heard.
Well, I'm glad you never met him, because he was.
Bill, should I rank him in the likes of Staff Bonen?
Yeah, no Staff Balloon. Yeah, sure. But
Yeah.
Albert loved the English-speaking cyclists, so he was obviously always bringing the English speakers. They're American. There were very few Australians in those days. In fact, I don't think of any at the moment. But he used to look after the likes of Tom Simpson. He really fell in love with Tommy. And of course, when Tom won the World Championship in Spain, Albert was there, and he couldn't stop crying. He's a big, fat man. Very Belgian. If he bangs on the bar, the whole hotel shook. But his heart of gold. And he looked after people like me and a few others. I just wondered if you knew him, that was all. But what you have done with the Flandrian is replicate what Albert did in the 60s. But obviously with all the modern day technology and knowledge. And you're helping all the kids now. So what is the flow of customers like coming to the hotel? What's the projection over the next few months?
I don't want to sound like an excuse, but it's hard to tell with COVID. But as soon as we open it, it's pretty much every weekend full on with people coming from Holland, Belgium, Germany. And obviously, we now and then we get some Swiss people, some people from Sweden, even some Aussies have been here. Not much, just because of the restrictions in traveling. But it's amazing how people still get here, and we're only open since half a year. So in a way, we can't at all complain. We're very happy. If there's one more thing I can say for Heinrich, I have a surprise here.
Here we go.
Hey, how you going, mate?
Hey, how are we doing?
All good.
Who have we got there, Bernard?
That's Peter. Peter is one of the crew. He's helping us with all the cycling services we deliver to helping teams and helping riders like Heino. Later in the day, Ronnie, the mechanic, will be here to give some love on Heinrich's cross bikes, because we want him to be ready when he comes back. So these guys are here quite often. And we have that service for everybody that loves the bike.
Fabulous.
Talking of bikes, you got a lot of press at the Flandrian for your bike collection. It's popping up in magazines everywhere. Bernard, have you got some Rottweilers out the front to guard the joint now?
Yes, we do. A little correction. This is Jamie's collection. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is totally. Jamie is doing this for 15 years, and we don't know where he gets the bikes, but every week
off the back of a truck, mate.
Every week we see bike deliveries here. It's unbelievable. And we have another Aussie here. Sean, come here.
Hey guys.
Oh yeah.
Hey, how are you, mate?
How you going? Yeah, good.
Yeah, good.
Yep, he's an Aussie.
How you going, mate?
How'd you escape?
From Australia.
Yeah, how'd you get away?
But no, he lives in Sweden.
I live in.
Okay.
I'm
expat.
heading back to Aussie next month, so let's see how that goes.
Yeah, good luck. Don't say that you play tennis. You won't get in, mate.
No back.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys on the show. And if you any last things to the boys before we let them go?
Just great to speak with you, Bernard. Good to see you smiling more this time. It's really great, Bernard.
You know, when you are around with people that are passionate about cycling, you gotta love this. You know.
Yeah.
I'm happy in the morning that I can get up and start to work. You know, this is a great life.
Well, Heino, the Will Wizard said you must have been stuffed, Heinrich. You finished 47th at 7:14. 10 minutes you would have been lapped. So
well, that's
you
okay.
did better than what you thought.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there was only 48 starters, but
That's it.
Hey,
I was going to ask you, Heino, what your actual plans are for this year. Obviously, Paris-Roubaix will be high on the list, and Tour of Flanders always is. But have you got what's your season looking like? What major tours and stuff you think you'll be doing?
I'm pretty sure I'll be doing the Giro this year. And then have a little bit of a break during the summer. I really need to give my family also a bit of TLC. You know, I've really neglected that. Well, not just the last months, the last years. You know, the kids are already 6 years old, and we still haven't been on a holiday yet. So
Wow.
I promised the missus, you know, in the summer I'll have a little bit of easy time, and I promised that we would go on a holiday together as a family. Just, you know, my wife, she has my backbone, like the hardest brick wall ever. So, you know, family for me is also number one. So I really going to do a big block now, continue through to the classics until to the Giro, have a little bit of a break during the summer, and then get ready for the last part of the season, just like this year pretty much. Smaller races, Tour of Poland, Big Bang Tour, then a few of the one-day races in the later part of the season, and maybe, hopefully, who knows, the World Championships in Australia.
I could just imagine that holiday when you say to the missus, I've booked in a nice hotel. She goes, what is it? Yeah, the Flandrian.
Yeah, I'm going to take my bike with me. And just, you know.
No, but as we said, we really appreciate you guys being on the show. All the best for the season, Heino, and all the best, Bernard, with you and Jamie and the crew at the Flandrian Hotel. You're doing sensational work. So hopefully 2022's a big year. Because the bar's pretty low from the last couple of years with COVID, so hopefully it's a good one. Iffy?
I'll see you at the Giro, Heino. I'm going for sure.
Definitely.
See you
Have
there,
to catch
mate.
up.
Look forward to it.
Good
pal.
stuff.
All right. Good on you, fellas. Speak to you
All the
soon.
very best, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Good on
Happy
you, fellas.
New Year.
You
Bye.
too. We'll have a
Bye.
See you guys.
quick drinks break now, guys, and we'll be back with more on the detour.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Life is like a two-way street. It's about consideration and mutual respect. Roads are much the same. However you get around, walk, ride or drive, if we share our roads, we can all be safer. The Amy Gillett Foundation is Australia's peak cycling safety charity. Our mission is for safe cycling in Australia. Our vision is for 0 cyclist deaths. Over the last year, we've seen an enormous increase in people taking up cycling, whether it be for recreation, with the family, commuting, or even to start your own cycling career. We need to do more to make it safer for every cyclist. 20 cyclists every day are hospitalised, and 1 cyclist is killed every 10 days on Australian roads. So, the next time you jump on your bike or hop in your car, remember to practice the 4 C's. Be courteous, calm, considerate and conscientious. Every cyclist death is preventable, and we all deserve to get home safely. Please donate to help the Amy Gillett Foundation make the roads safer for you and for me.
Thanks again to Bike Exchange and the Amy Gillett Foundation. Now, we don't have long left in the show because it's way past your bedtime, Iffy, and you've got a massive day tomorrow. And you need to be fresh.
Oh,
mate.
big day. Yeah.
Big day.
What's on tomorrow?
That's a little thing called Lexus of Blackburn Bay Crits, powered by PSC Insurance.
And that brand new electric car pacing the riders, right?
Yes, they got the
looking forward to
UX
knowing that,
300E.
Rick Jagger, does the Bay Crits return mark the end of COVID? I don't
Of
think
course it
so,
does.
Rick. We hope
That'll
so.
be with us. That'll be with us forevermore. But the fact is, we're beginning to live with it. That's all.
Yeah. Well, this Omicron virus has definitely changed the game over in Australia. I mean, 3 weeks ago, I didn't know anyone who actually had COVID. Now, everyone I speak to, someone in their family that has
Same for me, John.
It's
Same
just
for me.
gone ballistic.
Yeah.
But one's
they're
getting
not dying
they're
from
not
it.
getting as sick.
Only the idiots that refuse injections. They're the ones who are still getting caught out.
There's some issues there, of course,
but paying the price.
Yeah, and so, but so a mate of mine runs one of the big hospitals here, and he was saying that all of the people who are getting sick at the moment are either have got the Delta virus, which is still around, it's nowhere near as prevalent, but or they've got some respiratory issues anyway, or haven't been vaxxed. The majority haven't been vaxxed at all. But the dangerous thing about this Omicron is that it is so contagious. It is like, it must be more than double. We wouldn't know how many people have actually got it right now. It's just gone. They can't keep up with the testing. So we've got to be careful. But the Bay Crits, they're on. We're being super we always had the COVID protocols in place, but Karen and the team have really stepped that up. The riders area, the public will be able to yell out to them and whatever, but they won't be able to walk into the marquees that they have before. They'll all be separated. And same with the presentations. Riders won't be shaking hands with the mayor. They'll wave and things like that. So we're doing it all correctly. All our staff in the VIP will have masks on and things like that. So, but it's a good, it's a nearly 2 kilometre circuit. So there's plenty of room for the people to spread. We've got food vans and coffee trucks and all that there. So it's going to be an absolutely wonderful day. And anyone who is listening to this is in Victoria, get down there tomorrow on Sunday. We've got so much on. We've got skills classes for the kids. There's Victorian Championships from under 11 right through to under 19s, as well as all the elite races and the Damien Drapak support races for the men and women as well. There's a e-bike giveaway thanks to RV Parts. We've got an e-Tourer M1. That's a ripper, actually.
Sounds fast.
It does. It's a mountain bike style, but it goes, and a bit like Godzilla we had over in France a couple of years ago. But so if someone's going to win that, it's a giveaway. Someone over the next 2 days will win that bike. So it'll be, and look, the racing's good. I touched on the guys before, but also a great field with the ladies. So we've got the Lexington Blackburn team led by Grace Brown and Ruby Roseman Gannon. But we've also had Peter Mullins and Matilda Reynolds. Some really good racing. So get down there tomorrow. People in Victoria have been starved of a decent bike race for many, many months. So now's your time.
Now, early in the year, it's always new kit day. And obviously, a team that we're going to focus on is Team Bike Exchange Jayco. Rebranded. They're on the giant bikes. What do you think of the kit, fellas? I'll start with you, Phil. Do you like it?
Wow. That's the first time I've seen it. I do like it. Initial impressions are very nice indeed. Yeah. Oh dear.
Very blue.
Do you want my full address for the kits? It's
it's in the mail, mate.
Lovely.
And you notice they've got a different kit for the women.
Yeah.
I really like the
kit.
It's
slightly different.
Nice touch of pink. Look really smart. Yeah.
Really good. And they're riding the giant bikes on the guys and the live bikes, which is the giant special ladies version for the ladies. So I think it's going to be, and the guys are very excited. I was talking to a couple of the boys, and they absolutely love the new frames. So
Now we also got an email, Iffy, from Reno Van Dahl, who wanted to chat about the UCI points, the ranking system, because it's changing at the end of this year, where the top 18 ranked teams on points will go through to World Tour status, and then the ones that are 18 or 19 above, they get relegated. So they're Pro Tour, not World Tour. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, it sounds that way, but when you read the thing, it says could be relegated. So I don't know what the exact rules. I just tried to look it up before when I saw you talking about it, and I saw it. So the 5 teams that are actually in trouble at the moment are Cofidis, Lotto, Total Direct, Uno X, and B&B Hotels. They're the bottom 5. But the other teams that not far off are, Bike Exchange in there. So Movistar, they're just above. Israel, DSM, EF, AG2R. A lot are a bit unlucky because, with what happened to the Tour de France with Caleb, they would have got a whole stack of points there. But they got all year. So, but right at the moment, that's the case. But I've tried to read the fine print and could be relegated. So
yes,
I don't know what are the other teams got to do to get put up. It's very unclear. Matter of fact, some of the teams, a lot of the teams didn't even know about this. This sort of seems to have snuck in. It's not like something that's been well planned.
But do the points, are they attributed to the team or the rider? Because remember when Green Edge started, they had to buy certain riders that had X amount of points. Like that's why Matt Goss was very appealing, because he had so many points to get the World Tour license. So if you're a struggling team at the end of the year, wouldn't you then buy a rider that's got enough points to go into next year? Is that how it works?
Yeah, but the small teams aren't going to be able to afford that rider because the top teams aren't going to let him go if he's got that many points. So the riders get the points, yes. But
so you want to be a rider that gets as many points early in the season as you can, then say to your manager, hey, hang 5 on negotiating the deal, mate, because these points could be worth double.
Well, that's true. Yeah, sorry, Phil, go on.
I'm just thinking, for example, the transfer windows in August of each year, that's when they might start to move right around, but they don't apply those points until the next season. Then they look at the teams, and that might be too late because it's what the team has in points at the end of the current season.
Oh, okay.
So they're down, and so there's no point looking to buy riders because they won't count until the following year when they're already down.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
The other side that makes it a little bit difficult, I think, is that the big sponsors are starting to write into the contracts, if the team is relegated, we're out. Now that could be very much against the future of the sport. That could not be good at all, because they want the big publicity for the France.
Exactly right, mate. I don't like the system. But one of the things that's interesting, the new rule, the points are not transferable. No, not during the season. He's spot on. But what I think what's going to make the difference is that riders who normally, they're doing a task, they're doing a job, it might be the early stage of the mountains, they'll be, instead of going to the last minute where they actually explode and lose 5 minutes, they won't be able to do that. The team will be saying, no, drop off a fraction earlier and keep going. It'd be more important for you to hang on there and finish 14th or 15th than to finish 25th and get no points, So it's not just the points up the top end; it's the points, for the 5 or 6 riders. So it's it'll see a slight different way of how the team operates.
It is going to make the back half of the year fascinating because, as you know, Phil, being in the UK, the Premier League, you always focus on the top guys, but then the bottom relegation zone. Those last few races, if you're going to be, if it's between a handful of teams, they're going to be stacked.
Yeah. And that's the way they are.
Can you imagine the hue and cry if Lotto didn't make the cut and win a World Tour team? Belgium would be
cars burning in the streets.
Look, it's a tough one. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to read some more because I read the big article that you actually sent me a link to, Dan. It never explained how the teams who were going to try and move up, what they've got to do to get in. It said what the 5 teams are struggling, but how does the team make it in? What team? Where are they coming from? They're not going to have enough points. The bottom teams of the Conti Pro teams.
Well, there are a couple of teams that are Pro Conti that are in there. They referenced them. There was 3 teams.
That's right. But they got real low points. They're in there. They've got the lowest points. I can't see how they're going to get enough points to move in anyway, but it'll be interesting. Yeah.
Just buy a good rider that's going to get you heaps of points and don't worry about the rest. Hope that they can scoop them all up. Anyway.
Suck it and see it. Not
All
too
right.
happy at the moment.
Well, as we said, Phil, it's past Iffy's bedtime. We better wrap things up and want to wish you all the
Big day
best tomorrow, John.
Yeah,
Thanks,
we do,
mate.
John. Yeah.
Yep.
And what time is the main event, John? Just for me back home here in the UK, so I might just have a little look.
Well, all start tomorrow. It starts at 12 o'clock. It's on SBS on demand too. Good on you, Karen. Good to know.
Does that mean that I can look after the race is finished?
Yeah.
On
yes,
demand.
Karen and all the crew are down at the beautiful Novotel Geelong right now. We were down there earlier starting to get this thing set up, but tomorrow morning, 6 o'clock, she'll be down there with the crew. So at midday tomorrow is the age group championships, under 11s up to I think under 17s tomorrow, and then the support races, the Damien Draback support races, and I think if I've got it in front of me now, I think it's tomorrow. I think 6 o'clock, 6:15 starts the men's lead, and 5 o'clock starts the women. They're both an hour this year. The women's race is an hour, so 5 o'clock women, and then tomorrow the juniors start at 9 a.m. With all the guys' races starting at midday, or the elite races, the senior races starting at midday.
Right.
Rick Jagger goes, what time is it in the UK?
That'll be 11 p.m. Midday over in Australia.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
You're 11 hours behind us.
We are. We've been behind you for years. We never get ahead. It's hopeless.
All right. Well, we better wrap things up. Thanks for joining us, Phil. Thanks again to Bernard and Heino, and good luck tomorrow, Iffy. It's been a bloody big build-up, mate, and the Bay Crits is finally back. So enjoy and watch on SBS On Demand. See you again soon, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.